this is from bidder number 3. I didn't want to copy it, so I take it
Oh,
live, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up your tree right now.
Yeah. I've been getting bids on the fires or the cemeteries. And last night when I was out there, I noticed this tree. So when I talked to Mary this morning, she said if the bidders trade, actually, this tree is leaning. And it would be taken all.
Sure.
Look at this bid.
You look cozy.
What I did was, this.
Look at
First,
the picture. You know where everybody is. Okay. Who's the-
Things
I know. You guys want to print a copy of the FEMA thing?
Sure.
All right. Sure. Yeah, just pass it down.
Okay.
I have one, Kate.
Okay,
Thank you.
yep.
Sure, John gets one.
Yeah, is he coming?
He should be here, but they've been a little busy today.
Yes. I saw it. Yeah, I saw the yeah.
Nelson. Usually I was saying.
Did you see my email about the dates on the moratorium being off just slightly? Did you look into that or
She was.
did she?
Yeah.
I don't know, she responded to you. She said no.
No, she wouldn't me.
Yeah, I didn't reply to you, Karen, but I did reply to Ken and Kara.
Didn't know you were there. I'm
Oh,
talking.
sorry. Here I am.
No, I knew you couldn't be, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. It took effect the day after publication.
the day after, not day of. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it.
Or just put your head for picture.
Karen, do you have an extra copy of the agenda?
I don't think he should.
I thought he was on the agenda. Well, if not, we'll just pass on what you said.
Don't mind me taking it for the better.
Yeah.
I'm with
Regular schedule.
Yeah, it's kind of late, she did tell me that, so we can make sure. We gotta get them. And there's others.
You guys all ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. We're gonna call the meeting to order at 7 PM. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Gary. Here. Mary. Ben's here, Tara,
Here.
Jason. Here. All present. See. Agenda. Everyone had a chance to look at the agenda.
There's a newsletter on here, but I see that.
Should be,
Push that
double check
button.
them.
As long as that's on there, I'm good.
J6.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented or with changes?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
We got a motion by Mary. And a second.
Second.
We got a motion by Mary, second by Gary to approve the agenda as presented. Roll. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All ayes. Carried. Public comment? Mary? Oh, Karen?
Maybe I'm missing it. Is this grant on the agenda that you just approved?
No.
That might be something you want to add, just an opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna make the public comment, make it, yeah.
That has to be on.
But I don't
this
wanna
month,
count
right?
it as-
Well, the rate will be submitted by before your next board meeting.
Oh,
It's a lot of work, so, and it's pretty, it kind of drives your decision on the fire truck too, so you probably need to evaluate it.
So do I need to rescind my own motion and make a?
Well, I think if she brings it up in the information and reports, we can just take it from there.
As long as you want to handle it,
Okay,
that's fine.
I mean, we got you down for planning commission reports. You can just add right in there about the grant.
Plans commission, but that's okay.
Yeah.
okay, Karen.
So I had my other. For public transparency, it gives confidence to the citizens. So in my opinion, the board agenda outline at least should be available publicly by the Friday prior to the regular meeting, whenever possible, even if belated reports file in afterwards. And I truly respect personnel privacy, but also public transparency, including detailed payroll expenditures. Regarding short-term rental, please review the dates within the resolution to extend the STR moratorium. It sounds like that's already been done. And is the board planning to schedule an open forum for discussion sometime this summer? Fireworks are likely to be more prevalent during this particular anniversary year. I know we have a noise and public nuisance ordinance that may apply after 10 p.m. if necessary, but do we also have or need a local ordinance specifically to regulate fireworks, except for the dates that are established by the state of Michigan? I looked at an MCL and it did say it would be, an ordinance may impose a civil fine of $1,000 for each violation, with $500 collected locally. You've got truth and taxation on the agenda tonight. Last year, we did not capture the revenue available via the truth and taxation, but I personally would support doing so this year. You've got a section on concrete work, and I am grateful for volunteers, but what would the 12 by 12 pad be used for? I have not spoken with Ada lately, but last I knew she preferred building access rather than an outdoor shelter for commodities. The FEMA grant we just mentioned, that would be a huge blessing if we were able to get that. And it turns out it's good that we don't have a pending purchase because that would make us ineligible. And it looks like the transfer station rules and regs have been clarified now. On the schedule and the punch card, so I think we're in good shape now. Thank you.
Mario?
I have a short public comment on the short rentals. Enough time has passed for the township to make a final decision on this issue. Short rentals are currently not permitted under existing ordinance, and the residents should not have to continue dealing with the arson. Inconsistent enforcement and ongoing neighborhood conflict while the new regulations are being considered. I also believe it is important to recognize that many of the individuals advocating for legalization of short-term rentals are not permanent residents of the township. And despite substantial time and discussion, no concrete or measurable benefits to the township has been demonstrated beyond speculative projections and promises. I would also like to mention that, even though we have a moratorium in place, people don't lie about this. They just disregard it. And there are new short-term rental popping up. I respectfully ask the board to prioritize long-term residential character, stability and property rights, in the community and bring clarity to finally this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Amanda?
Hello, my name is Amanda Morgan. I live at 07559 Silver Lake Road. I'm here to talk for myself as well as several concerned citizens of Grand Junction. If you could take one of the shows. In the interest of time, I just provided the key talking points in there, as well as some Michigan legislation. At a previous board meeting, I raised concern that Supervisor Ken Speaker potentially has bias on the concerns of short-term rental ordinances as well as zoning ordinances. In a subsequent meeting, as well as on tonight's agenda, he did rebut that concern. So I just wanted to clarify, to be clear, I understand where Ken is coming from. And I am not here to dispute tax code. That was not our point. Our concern is that Supervisor Speaker holds significant personal and financial interest in the outcomes of short-term rental decisions, as well as zoning ordinances in this township. Specifically, he owns multiple homes and vacant properties, as you can find on public record, that specifically are going to be impacted by those decisions. I provided copies of the Michigan Legislator Code 15.324 there. In summary, it states a public officer shall not participate in the negotiation or execution of regulations or supervision in which he has personal interest. So his level of personal ownership within the area most directly impacted by this is the very definition of conflict of interest. The outcome of short-term rental and zoning ordinances has a direct and qualifiable effect on his holdings. His consistent, one-directional voting record, along with his conduct in the meetings, I feel should further demonstrate that his position is driven by personal interest rather than the well-being of this township and its future. I speak not only for myself, but many concerned citizens who are afraid to speak up for the fear of retaliation by speaking up against this bill. So therefore, I formally request to the board that Supervisor Ken Speaker recuse himself from all votes, deliberations, and discussions regarding short-term rental and zoning ordinances consistent with Legislation Act 15.342 and the ethical obligations of this office. Thank you. Anybody else?
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
If it were the case where you were trying to promote the short-term rentals, you would potentially financially benefit. But that's not been your position, so then I don't see that it's the same, anyway,
I don't know what personal benefit I'm getting. I'm not renting.
right.
And I had no intention for it. In fact, I got one cottage across the lake that I haven't rented for 12 years.
My name is Steve Bozak. I live on Saddle Lake on the north side at 0995 51st Street. Last summer when I was here, we had a meeting. You did recuse yourself from voting. You said it up there in front that you would do that. So I don't see that there's any conflict of interest at that point. Do you remember that meeting?
I said it because of appearance of conflict of interest, because two people said that I was renting property.
This has been going on since last summer. This is something new. You said that you wouldn't vote. You said that in front of us.
The appearance of
Okay.
conflict of interest is what I said. A lot different than saying I have a conflict of interest.
Also stated though, if, sorry, we're both for.
You know, nobody knows how I'm gonna vote yet. They're assuming how I'm gonna vote.
They will, I know they can work in violation. And we step forward with it. But you did state that you would step down the vote. Because of the bias, we don't, not have generation. Then we, you know, clarify, I mean, it didn't matter, you weren't in town, because you were not ready.
We got this one.
Sure.
Also, the statement, I'm not saying anything wrong about our statement, but this statement here. We're claiming that you have other properties also, well, that means that anybody on the board or in this room who has more than one property. When it comes to short-term rental, we should not have anything to say about it then. Because we have more than one property. And where everything gets on this.
That's something. This the.
We received a written public comment here at the meeting. Can read it real quick. From Daryl Hadley. I'm against all STR on the south side of Fire Lane 14 off of 51st Street, Grand Junction, Michigan. There are many reasons for this, as I shall just list a few. Number one, I, Daryl Hadley, maintained the fire lane for the last 7+ years, including crushed asphalt, grading, plowing, tree removal, etc. Do you think that the renters would care or respect the fire lane? I can answer this for you. No. Number two, there is a family that has a baby, and I, being a father, also would not want to have complete strangers renting a house less than 100 feet away from my door and have no care for the well-being of this family. With what happens as to loud music, partying, and drinking into the late night. I have seen this firsthand on Saddle Lake, and I'm sorry, but why should we, the residents who live here, have to deal with this? There are plenty of short-term rentals in South Haven that they can go to. Number three, I own Master Tech Marine in South Haven, and when boating season starts, I work long hours and many times come home after dark. Will some young drunk people take a stroll on Fire Lane 14 to check out the neighbors' places? Please do not approve this. Thank you, Daryl Hadley, 10236 51st Street, Grand Junction.
Any other public comment? Consent agenda, meeting minutes from previous meetings. We have special board meeting the 21st of April 26th. Any board comments on that set of meeting minutes? No. Regular board meeting, April 21st, 2026. Any comments on that by board members? Do I have that on there twice?
I have it on there twice. I'm sorry. They're the same.
That's all right. There's only two of them.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Accounts payable. Does anyone have any comments on the accounts payable? None? Payroll expenses, payroll summary report, May 2026. Any comments on the payroll? Mary, did you have a banking balance here? Is that the 000?
It's there. Yeah, it always goes down. I don't know why.
That's because you have most of them. Any comments on the banking balance? Could I get a motion to approve the current agenda as presented?
Make a motion.
Motion by Cara,
Second.
second by Jason. This is the money one, Cara,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Kenzie, yes, Mary,
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
Moving on to G, information reports. John?
He's gonna be late.
Sorry, it was a tough day today. Got a little bit more workout than I've been used to for, you know. We did have a fire on 53rd today. Had an equipment malfunction, but cooler heads prevailed and we did get a good enough hit on it that we saved the house. When we arrived on scene, the garage was, the roof to the garage was completely gone. They had a pontoon, they had a boat, the fuel load inside the garage was intense. So I was probably 15 feet away when I started putting water on it, and I could feel it heat coming from the house still. So, like I said, I mean, they're not always success stories, but anytime it isn't a foundation call, that's the best call. All 3 cats and 2 owners were accounted for. Red Cross came through, was taking care of them as well as their neighbors. They, before we cleared the scene, they had already found a place to stay while they try to get everything back on track. We just started working with a new crew that does free services. They close up your building for you, Huizinga Dam out of Kalamazoo, I believe is what their name is. So we had them come out, they closed off the side of the house that was nearest the garage. So they lost 2 windows and the breezeway connected to it. I didn't break any windows, I did not do any extra ventilation of the home. But yeah, like I said, if I wouldn't have got there as quick as I did, and if the chief of Bangor didn't get there as fast as he did, we might be talking about a sad story. So not a happy story, but a win is a win. We had 25 calls in April. We're a little down than usual, but we're at 145. We're making up for it with the holiday. As far as burn permits are concerned, call my number, call the station number. You can Google it, you can find it on a Facebook page. We also have a new Facebook page. But you don't need to talk to a person to burn. Pay attention to the sign, and I try to keep that as updated as possible. If it says high or very high, please just don't burn. Just don't. Because if I come out to your house and I know that sign says high or very high, I'm just gonna put out a fire. So I'm gonna dump whatever water I bring to it, and I'm just gonna put it out. Moderate is fine, but I've been trying to reach back out to post. If you leave messages, the messaging machine wasn't working, I fixed that. So you can leave me messages again, and I also have a personal phone for the area that we can start getting that number out as well. So we are resuming the 911 street signs, the green signs that you see on some mailboxes, some you don't. It just makes it easier for them to find. And then we resumed pool fills. I think that's something we're gonna have to monitor. Just with the rising fuel costs, I don't know if that's a service that we can keep doing. I know that a couple departments here in Van Buren have closed that off. We've already done a couple. I have another one tomorrow morning. But it'll be something that we're just gonna have to check in the cost of it. I do it for $50 a load. At one point, that was totally feasible, but I have a gigantic diesel truck that I have to run the entire time hanging out. So for right now, I'm still filling pools. So just give us a call. Press number.
What's a burn permit? And then for the signs, the street signs, is that something just go to the website, fill out a form or something?
No, you call me, you give me your address, and I make the sign, and I meet you at your house.
Oh, okay.
We've got the screws and whatnot. I don't think we provide posts anymore, but I can check to see if we got any more lingering around. But most people in the area that are asking for them either have a wooden post or they're in a group post with other members of their team. So, but burn permit is mostly through, I guess it'd be DNR based, I guess, or is it just township based? The burn permits. I follow the DNR's code. If they tell me not to burn, nobody burns. If I find out that you burn, unfortunately at that point, I either have to get DNR involved or I have to call Jeremy. So one of those is. So moderate and below, I mean, I'm pretty flexible. I've been taking grass right home with me because it's our site medical, so pretty much ready 24/7 if something goes wrong. Yeah, we prefer to know where you're burning at, if you're gonna burn. Small, just hanging out with a small fire with your friends is not something. you do. But if you're burning yard debris, we've had a couple of storms, we had that, a pretty good windstorm. Yesterday, the day before, and, we were running down some fire lanes to pull trees. For a couple hours, so. Just one of those, yard debris, just don't let it be seen in space, that's what we do, yeah. Small files, monitor your file, need us. Okay.
Jeremy?
So I forwarded you guys, two different reports. The first two was the call volume, township report. Took a total of 89 calls for service this last month of April. Majority of those being obviously the traffic stops, as those have ramped up. Now that the weather is nicer, a lot of our officers are stopping people for minor traffic violations. Also seeing an uptick in burglaries, domestics, and assaults. So with the nicer weather, our numbers are going to continue to rise. The other report that I sent you guys was broken down by agency. 70 of those 89 calls were handled directly by myself or another employee of the sheriff's office. 4 for animal control. So 13 total for MSP and 2 assess numbers for South Haven. I also forwarded you guys a copy of the blight list that I have kind of revamped. I took a little bit of one of my partners who works Lawrence Township and a couple other townships and how he does his blight list and tracks all of his. And kind of modified that to something that I can keep better track of in a visual aspect. And I can keep you guys in the loop on that. Right now I've got a running list of 6 properties that I have been working on for the last few weeks. That list will continue to grow, and as I complete a line on that list, whether it be blight, RV ordinance, whatever the ordinance violation is, I'm gonna note whatever the end result was. I'll take that line right out of my report, send it to the board in an email, so you guys are tracking what's going on, what the status of that particular property is at.
I would just like to say that, the, report that Jeremy has established for himself, personalized it so it's simpler for him, is excellent.
Thank you.
It's very good. I love it. You can have a running total.
Yeah.
What was done is on there. So it's good. Thank
I've
you.
set it up by date so I can track it when I've made contact with their verbal. If I've handed them copies of tickets to take some of their junk over to the transfer station for dump tickets. Let them know how many I've handed them, and then each day, when I give them their verbal warning, the written warning. If a citation is warranted or if they've made progress with cleanup, I can note that by date and keep a good running track of it.
Yeah, perfect. Very good. Thanks.
Thank you.
The other
Jeremy?
part of that-
Sorry, you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say, the other part of that is, we discussed, like, you just really need one point person, which would be
Yeah,
Gary.
and with that, one point of contact with the township board is gonna be a lot extremely easier for me to maintain than some of these
Group
group
emails.
emails that I've received. Who's saying what in the emails and what it's about tends to get lost in translation, but by the time I've seen it, if I've been off for 3 or 4 days, I come back in, there's an email with 8 different responses in there, and I'm trying to read through all of that to track what or where are we at, what's going on with this property. It's gonna be a lot easier for me to,
Gary, your single point of contact?
have Gary be like.
I
a
don't say, well,
single
you
point of
okay?
contact. If something comes up in that group email, Gary can just say, hey, this is what we've got here. Do you have any update or do you need anything else from me? And Gary can tell me what the township board needs from me directly.
I would prefer that because I had 3 that I stopped out last week. And there's no sense of wasting our deputies' time on something that maybe is unfounded or is not a correct report. So I check it out, I take pictures, I talk to the people, if it looks like it's something, then I post stuff on the door. And I will give that to Jeremy as well as I will give it to the zoning administrator. But, with all the, issues that are in this township, and we're not the only township in Michigan that has these. Just so everybody knows, but I cannot see tying up the zoning administrator or our deputy on maybe some what maybe looked like blight issues to some people are nothing more than child toys out in the yard. So I prefer that. That's good.
Yep,
And we can expect that there's gonna be progress every month and we'll get that. And-
yep, and prior to every meeting, I'm gonna try and get this, actually, every 2 weeks, I wanna update the board, so I'll send a copy of this list. Probably at the end of this week to Gary specifically, say, hey, cause I plan on getting some follow-up that I've already got going on this list. Getting checked in with a couple more of those properties throughout the week and maybe adding 2 or 3 more to it. And I'll send a copy of that to Gary probably by Friday.
Okay.
And then I'll update you guys 2 weeks out from the next board meeting, and then I'll send an email with the new report as well, the day before, for the weekend before next month's meeting.
Well, thank you. I think that'll work, because we all individually get complaints. People will each call us individually, so we'll just point it to Gary.
Absolutely.
Jeremy, I was gonna ask if there's a typical or approximate timeline from first contact verbal warning to go through the process to citation or resolution? Is there like a rough?
From what I've talked with a couple of my other township partners about, within our sheriff's office, they say anywhere from 30 to 45 days is a good progress timeline. From the start of first contact verbal warning, usually after that, it's about a week to 2 weeks, check back in with them. If at that point progress is being made, just you note that in your report. As that progress continues, just keep noting it. If no progress is made, you move forward to your written warnings. And from there, it's a 10-day window. Again, no progress, then we move forward to the fire. I gotta pull the incident number through our dispatchers, get everything from my report put in there, and we'll go forward with, clear with Gary and the board to make sure, hey, this is what I've got on this property. You guys good with the citation being issued out, or do we wanna give them a little bit more time frame to clean this up? So I'll take that direction from the board. If we issue the citation, I'll put that in, close out the report, and then at that point, I'll pull that one out, send it over to you guys with the outcome.
We try to work with the taxpayers as good as possible, because once it gets to a citation level, then court's involved, then our attorneys are involved, and it costs money for the property owner, it costs money for the township, and we don't wanna hammer people if they just don't have the facilities to take care of it in 10 days. There's a lot of them that are, some of them are gonna take a month, maybe 2 months, but as long as they're showing some progress and actually working. Hitting them in their wallet when they can't really afford it.
Yep. That's something I've been trying to show a little bit of, grace with. If it looks like maybe they haven't moved everything off the property, moved a lot off the property, get rid of some stuff, but they're at least getting it gathered around, like they're trying to do some cleanup. If they're making a little bit of progress at a time, I'm gonna continue to work with them. Cause I know ultimately, we're not trying to force a citation and make it even more financially hard for the township residents. We wanna work with them to accomplish this task, so.
And you have the blight tickets for the dump, but if you
Yep.
need something else, then let us know.
Yeah,
You know, if
absolutely.
they need something else.
I'm handing those out a little bit more frequently now. All I'm doing on the back is just putting a date it needs to be used by. So I usually give them anywhere from 30 days to 2 months to get that taken care of. And get that over to the transfer station.
Thank you.
The zoning administrator, if it's a zoning issue, she sends letters out and she uses a a two-letter system where the first letter is 30 days and then the next letter is another 30 days, and if if it's not in compliance by that time, then a citation is issued. We're trying to keep it simple, the same format.
Yep.
We do have to keep our eye on this because that's the biggest complaint in the township, is blight. So it has to be.
I'd like to have this to be established. Where, this is coming from. Is it old complaints, new complaints, or whichever one you decide to pick?
What's the question?
Several are complaints that are coming from the board that they have received from other community members. Others are complaints that I've received directly. Whether from a concerned citizen or even just in passing by a property and realizing that this is gonna be an ongoing blight issue or an ordinance violation with the RVs, whatever it may be. I can make contact verbally direct with the property owner and get the process started.
Thank you.
Yep.
Where we at? Who's the next, road commissioner isn't here.
County commissioner's not here.
Yeah, there's planning commission meetings,
The reports included
assessors reports.
in the planning commission.
Well, Kate
This is the time she wants to
talk about
talk.
grants.
Kate, would you like to talk about the grant now?
It's really more for you guys. I hope you all got a chance to take a look at this 2.5 page memo. This just came in today, first thing this morning. I spent the whole day going through 8 different federal documents, trying to help you understand whether we're eligible and what needs to happen if we're gonna go forward. And I think the key issue, if you've read it, then I would focus in on a couple things. This is a highly competitive grant. So there's $291 million in this pot of money, but only 25% of that is going to be allocated to actual vehicle purchases. So, in your memo here, that says bullet point 3 under number 1 says that means 65 to 75 major fire trucks will be financed this year through this funding. That's not a lot. So, it's very important that we write a good grant if we're gonna do it at all. Now, the most important thing that I think is that there's an electronic scoring that happens before they ever look at our narrative. We don't even get to the narrative if we don't make it through electronic scoring. And so, that number 2, automated gatekeeper, electronic pre-score rules, that's key. And the truck that we look to replace is key. So for example, if we wanted to replace the newer truck because of all the malfunctions, that would kick us out. We have to replace the 1995 truck if we're gonna go for this grant. And timeline matters. I mean, this thing is due June 22nd. I'm very pleased that we did a community risk assessment because it's of course called for again this time and we're ready now. I'm happy to help you write the grant, but you guys have some decisions to make that I can't make. Once you make a decision, we can go from there. And any questions you have, I'm happy to try to answer.
Well, according to this as well, if I read it correctly, is, and I have to thank Mary for this and, Jason a little bit as well, that we didn't start the, process to get this mini bumper, because that would have kicked us out also.
You're right.
So that was a good move, maybe in hindsight, but that's okay.
Maybe not
That's good.
intentional.
No,
Things happen
that's
for a
no, no. So I'm glad that, even though we need need a truck, this is a much better opportunity.
But we can't, it is, and we probably should go for it, but we can't count on it. I wish I could say we could, but it's thread the needle. The fact that we've got all the stats together on our poverty is huge. It's really gonna separate us, and we will, in that 25% amount of money that's set aside for vehicles, we will be evaluated against other rural townships. We won't be competing with suburbs and cities, so that's important to know clear. I think we can write an excellent application. There's these electronic scoring objective questions, and then I need to write a 4,000 words, which is about 16 pages double spaced narrative, which covers a number of things. But they won't even get to that narrative unless we get through electronic scoring.
Right.
When would we know that we got through
We
electronic?
would
scoring?
know by as early as August 30th and
Okay.
as late as September 30th.
Okay.
You cannot make a purchase or a contract until you get grant notice, which means if
Correct,
you want that stock vehicle, that's tough.
correct.
Yeah. And then the final thing is if we're buying a new vehicle, I didn't write about it much in here, but if we buy a new vehicle and it's being built just for us and there's a time delay and the federal government anticipates there will be because there just is in this section, what I understand, when it comes to building trucks, there's quite a queue. We have to put together backup plans. So what if the person who's administering the grant leaves the township? Or what if the fire chief leaves the township? So there's some thinking we need to do in the way of backup plans. That becomes more critical if we're buying a truck that hasn't been made yet. And I don't know how likely it is that we can say in a grant that we can buy a stock truck.
To piggyback off that, Decatur, decided to buy a new truck. Obviously, it's bigger, it's one of the engines. But they put up $1.5 million at least, and their truck isn't even on the service line for another 2 years.
Wow.
Right.
So, and that's just, when I had the fire extinguishers, their old chief is who comes and does it, so. Yeah, he told me about that, they put up a big chunk of money, but they're 4 years out, 5 years out.
But, and we only have two, and there's gonna be stock ones that we can,
Yeah, the other thing on this grant is that, it would move faster if there was one that was already built, that would be pretty much what we need or what you would like to have on a truck.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I've talked to Axis and Irons, we just need to keep open communication with them. They have, it's not, obviously, nothing's been signed, but they're still kind of shuffling one of the trucks to the side and telling folks to check their other ones out.
sure.
One of those deals, just because they came down here and they had a good time down here and like, yeah, they saw it, so.
Yeah, so that's another big plus for us.
I don't think we really need a motion, just tell case that we. Or the 27-22.
Well, I think it's a no brainer.
Yeah,
So if you're willing to help with the grant money,
Or with-
with the application of things,
And, yeah.
and,
I'll get you my contact with Peters and you can go from there.
Actually, there's one thing I need help with, which is there needs to be proof that we did a competitive bid process. I know we've been working with Spencer, but we probably need a couple of other bids. Is that something you guys can
Well,
do?
I think John's already got
yeah,
those.
John's got
Okay,
it.
Did you hear
Do
that?
you have competitive, more than one competitive bid for the pumper you
The
want?
third one never got back to me, I'll find a new one, I got,
That's what I need.
Hanson redid the estimate for the Spencer truck, so I do have two.
Perfect. And our SAM number is up to date? Double check that that's current. I know
SAM.
you went through, a lot to get that.
Well, we gotta redo the password by June something or other.
Yeah, okay. Good.
okay. Very
Thanks,
good,
Kate.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank
There is
you.
one other grant that John's applying for as well through the state. Are you going for?
Department of the Treasury, it was sent out a couple weeks ago now. I reached out to the neighboring municipalities because I reached out to the state. There's one section in there, if a mutual aid department that you work with isn't trying for the grant, you can possibly get more favor because you put down their municipality code of something that Karen and I were working on, so.
Oh, cool.
I got our Sigma code and all that filled out, and I'm just waiting to hear back from, I think I'm pretty sure Lee and Bloomingdale are the two that I haven't heard back. So Bangor and Shays, of course, it's a rotating door of, yeah, we definitely need things, so theirs is already in progress, so.
What,
That's June 12th.
do you have actual mutual aid agreements that we can actually attach, or do I have to show?
We do have legitimate paperwork for the neighbor system.
That would be helpful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sheriff was on there, Mary. We snuck it in. The sheriff was on there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. that's what I'm-
Moving on.
Moving on, let's keep moving.
moving. H1 snowplow purchase for grass fire truck. Discuss regarding the purchase of a Western snowplow compatible with existing mounting equipment. The controls on the recent acquired grass fire unit.
When I was talking with Shays, we're looking at these rigs, isn't it my understanding, John, that the control units is in the truck?
The only thing that we have from the previous unit, the harness is still in.
Okay,
Which the rep that came out that I talked to with Dixie. He believes that that harness would be good enough for what they afforded. It's got 3 points of contact in the front and one already woven in two vehicles, so that would be a labor cost that we wouldn't need.
but the controls are not there.
No, the controller is still with Shays because they've got the plow. They
Oh,
kept-
okay,
I'm
okay.
assuming they kept the plow or they got rid of that one previously. Yeah,
Okay. I probably misunderstood, but I thought he said that they're keeping the plow, but everything inside the truck was still gonna be there.
yeah, but since they kept the truck, the controller, I don't know how much those cost. I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have left it either.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, one of those deals. And who knows if it would have worked with the D3, the one that they're looking at, so I'm sure it's very universal, but.
Well, I know we kicked this around a few years ago. And my only concern at that point in time was, who's gonna do the plowing? And for $8,000, you can, I don't know how many years it'd take to, how many pushes it'd take. The other thing is I don't know why you need even Hulksters at the time said, why do you need a V-plow? Straight blade plows, he just is good, because you have less maintenance on it, and people abuse it.
Dixie, did you want to talk about that? About the plow?
Yes. Bidder number one actually came out to the fire station, looked at everything, talked to John. They discussed what they figured that they needed. They need to, like, for example, the reflector on the top was saying, we need a 10 as opposed to a 14-inch because it really doesn't get as much air coming in. So he talked about different things such as that. And also on this bid sheet that I gave you, bidder number two, that is for a MVP plus plow as opposed to the MVP 3. The bidder number one says that MVP 3 plow has a bench or like links to it, and it's a lot easier to plow. So if we were to make them comparable to MVP 3s, bidder number two would be $2,214 more. There's a couple of numbers you don't have on your sheet. The upgrade to MVP 3 for bidder number two is $1,450 plus some of the reflectors is $435. If you look on sheet number 5, you can see where those other things are additional.
Thank you. Thanks for doing the work for this. You probably know more about plows now than you ever wanted to know.
A V-plow you can scoop with, and you can actually put the snow up in a bigger pile. If you get a lot of snow, and you have to go down like a fire lane, you know, a V-plow will keep you going straight instead of angle pile. Will push you off one side or the other side. Like my fire lane, every once in a while, when we get like 28 inches of snow, then you try plowing it with a V-plow. You have more control of your truck going right down the center of it, and then you can wean the sides back from that point. So it all depends what you should have for it. Parking lot, the scoop would be good because you can lay it up higher in a bigger room.
Hey Ken, it's really hard to hear you. You're just speaking to your mic. It's really hard to hear you.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you.
I just said the V-plows, you can pile snow up much higher than you can with a standard angle plow or a front plow, just pushing. It doesn't get it up as high.
You got a better control of the plow also.
You have a better
Yes.
control of your plow if you're going down a fire lane that hasn't been plowed. It will
Regular plow would.
keep you going straight right down the thing.
Mary or Kara, do you guys know off the top of your head what we spend on average for plowing
A lot this year, just because it was a bad winter,
Just
but I
looked-
didn't look it up.
I just looked, rough estimate about 3,500.
per
With
year?
everything, yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Is that for all township property or just the fire
I
department?
think it's all of them.
Yeah, to spend one time.
3,500.
What is it?
That's
3,500.
just for the fire stations, but the other ones weren't very much.
I'm just wondering if we could postpone this for a little bit, because we don't.
Yeah, better number one said that the investment stage again, some.
Okay. We have a lot of details to work out, like who's gonna use it, you know, and things like that, and I think. In all fairness to John, I think he's qualified to use a plow. But it's his first year as chief. I'd like to give him just a minute to.
The one thing, can I talk about? It? The one thing that I'm worried about is that these 4 locations depend on me. And then like we have an absolute barn burner and I'm gone for most of the day. Like we have a barn burner, we have a big fire. And I come back and now I've still got to plow all 4 of these locations, or I have to, I mean, good plow companies come multiple times a day. It starts out at 3 AM. Some of the easiest parking lots, like, I mean, I grew up in the UP, I know how to use a plow. But even, even the easiest parking lot can still take 45 plus minutes. So it's like, that's a lot of time. It's kind of the same word I have about mowing. That's just a lot of time.
Yeah, I think we should, maybe table this for,
Just for a little bit, because we could also get a backup plow, somebody to back up too, right? But.
Yeah.
Now that we finally have a 70-degree day, it just seems like we could wait a minute. But thank you, Dixie.
yeah.
That's a lot
Good
of.
work.
You're like the amazing bid person. Thank you so much. It really helps us. Okay, let's go on.
We're gonna postpone this till,
We're gonna postpone it.
when you want to postpone it till?
Let's
Meeting you wanna go
July.
July,
We're gonna be busy next week.
July or August, either.
Yeah,
We need a motion to postpone till July.
I don't think so.
You good? No. No.
Discussion.
Unfinished business,
Here's the thing.
did I miss one?
No, we already did one.
Okay, thank you. North Lake SAD resolution number 2, 2016-13. We want to consider the adoption of a resolution number 2, determining to proceed with the North Lake Aquatic Plant Control Special Assessment District improvements. Improving plans and estimated costs, make the final determination of the special assessment district and directing preparation of the special assessment role. Discussion and possible approval of the resolution. Is there any, anyone have any discussion on?
Is it premature to approve this before they have their last public hearing?
I think we have to approve this to have the public
We have to
hearing.
approve this to have the public hearing?
Laura is here.
Okay.
Yep.
Talk on.
I'm on if you want me to speak to that briefly. It's a 4 resolution process. So you've had 1 resolution and 1 public hearing already. Then we'll do this resolution 2 and resolution 3. Resolution 3 will schedule the second public hearing. You'll have that and then adopt resolution number 4, which confirms the special assessment role. So what this is doing is determining that the plans as presented at the first public hearing are approved and you're going to move forward with them, determining the duration of that district, which is set for 2027 through the end of 2036. And this is the standard way that these are approved under Act 188.
Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
So then I would, I would move that we approve this. 2026 13 resolution for the North Lake said.
Can I get a second? Gary's got a motion.
Sorry, Gary, we just do one at a time?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, second.
So for discussion, because we have a second, Laura, so if after the next public hearing. And.
So there's
if
this
most of
another,
them-
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just asking if we get an influx of most of the people that don't want it on the next one. Then we deal with that when it happens next month.
So the purpose of the first public hearing was to hear objections to the establishment of the district and proceeding with the improvements. The purpose of the second public hearing is for people to object to their share of the assessment. So that's their time. And if somebody wants to appeal their assessment, they would have to object at or before that second public hearing in order to preserve their right to appeal it. And it will say that right in the notice. But that's why there are two public hearings. One to decide, are we going forward with these improvements? Are we comfortable with the plans? That's the first public hearing you had. So if you're going to move forward with a special assessment role and consider adopting it, then you would adopt the two resolutions that are on your agenda tonight.
Right.
Does Laura know about that? Huh?
No.
We did receive a letter from Jack and Sue Mayer. They're withdrawing their support for the extension of North Lake Aviation Program. They're not arguing the special assessment district, just the portion of the aviation. How do we handle that?
But Laura, wouldn't that be handled in the next public hearing?
Yeah, so I'm looking back at your first resolution real quick, and it was done, so there's two ways these can be initiated. One is on petition and one is on your own initiative. So here it was on petition, and that was a petition filed by owners of land constituting more than 50% of the total land area. The township has already found those petitions to be sufficient because it moved forward. So we're sort of past that point where now it's a township project. I mean, it benefits the owners. That's why they're being assessed, but the township is involved in doing it. So I don't know if it's the same letter, but I did read the letter, the concerns that were in the packet. And there were a couple of parts I thought maybe I could address to help out. And I might have mentioned these at the March meeting as well. There's a lot of things that come up with lakes, and not all of them are relevant to this special assessment. This is not a Part 309 assessment, so we do not get into any of the statutory requirements for that. This is also not something that is involving the setting of a lake level. That's a completely different process unrelated to the improvements we are doing. Concern, and I appreciate the concern about people wanting to have a say in the budget. But the reality is when you have a petition for the township to be the one that does the improvement and assess the people, it is no longer a private project, meaning that the township has to ultimately set that amount and assess it out and put it on the tax roll. If the private property owners did not want to have the township's involvement, then presumably they would not have petitioned. They would have just gathered up and done this on their own. The advantage to getting the township involved, which usually is why associations get the township involved, is because we can put it on the tax bill. So there's an advantage to collection in that. So I did very carefully, read those concerns, and there was nothing raised that would cause me to recommend that the township proceed any differently from a legal perspective.
Okay, any other discussion? I think I moved that we move forward with the resolution number 2.
I think you have a pending motion on the table.
Yeah. Any other discussion, or we're going to go to roll call? Roll call, Gary.
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Carl.
Yeah.
Ken, yes. Mary.
Yes.
Carrie.
So the next resolution that you have simply sets that second public hearing. It has the roll, which shows the proposed cost for each parcel, which is $950 spread over that 10-year period for each parcel, 9 or 10 years, I forget. 2026 through the end of 2027 to 2036. So it will then, notice will go out to each of those property owners with notice of that second public hearing. And then that is their opportunity to object to that amount, to say that's, you know, too much for the benefit I get, or whatever objection someone might want to make.
Can I get a motion to approve, SAD resolution 2, which is 2026-13?
2026
Resolution 3.
014, number 3.
14. Resolution number 3.
Yeah.
And my fingers were on this.
So moved.
Jason made a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Gary seconded, discussion. No discussion? Roll call. Jason,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Ken, yes, Carl.
We need to pick a date for your.
1.5 is, Vesper proposed siting discussion.
We're on 4.
Huh?
1-4.
1.4? Thought we just did resolution 3. Where we at, Carl?
I-4.
How did that come before?
It's confusing because we numbered the SAD resolutions 1, 2, 3, and 4 because it's a 4 resolution process, and that's separate from your actual resolution numbering.
Hey, Laura, who sets the date for that public hearing? We need to do that now?
It should be, yes, I thought it was filled in the resolution. Let me.
It's blank.
I think it's blank.
Oh, well, we should fill that in because it should have been filled in with your next meeting. So I would, if you've already passed that resolution, I do a motion to amend it to fill in your next public meeting date, your regular meeting date.
Gonna be 6:30 prior to the.
Apologies for that.
We need a motion to amend resolution number 3,
We need
2026.
a date.
It's the next
Next
meeting.
meeting at 6:30.
Be June 16th.
June 16th.
16th at 6:30 PM prior to our regular board meeting.
I'll make the motion to amend the resolution to add the public hearing date of June 16th at 6:30 PM.
Got a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We do aye? Laura? Do we do aye?
Can you do aye? Yes.
Yeah. Aye. Everyone said aye?
Everyone
nays?
said aye.
Hi.
So this is going to be.
Extend the moratorium. No, this one? Oh, we just did that.
No.
The dates in here.
This is up here? Okay.
June 16th.
Okay, North Lake SAD resolution number 3. No?
That's what we just did.
Where's the space in that other thing?
And can I just add, Kara, that notice that's attached to resolution 3 will need to be published twice. With the first publication at least 10 days before the hearing, and then it will need to be mailed by first class mail to each person on the list.
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Great, yep.
We're on the short-term,
Short-term.
I-4.
I-4, short-term rental moratorium. Consider renewing the temporary moratorium on short-term rentals with Columbia Township. Everyone read that, understand it? Or has prepared it? Can I get a motion to approve the short-term rental
We
moratorium
need
extension?
Renew. This resolution number, what's the next number?
15.
15? So moved.
Very moved, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Jason, discussion?
Yeah, all this is gonna do is give us a little bit more time to get the information that we need to make hopefully, a good decision on proceeding, trying to solve everybody's issues. And this is gonna be for just another 12 months. So, or until we either approve or deny ordinance for the short term.
Any other discussion?
Well, I guess, we had public comment that mentioned that there is, in fact, people that are breaking the moratorium, which we knew was a potential outcome of a moratorium because it's difficult to enforce. I understand why we're doing it for 12 months, but I guess I would just like to say that I do tend to agree with Marius that we don't need to delay decision on this for an extended period of time. I know there's probably still a little bit more information we need to collect, but we've collected a lot of information. And I just don't want to run the risk of our residents thinking that we're just not doing anything about this. I don't know what I'm suggesting, and I don't know if we can make that decision tonight, but I just hope that a 12-month moratorium doesn't mean that we wait 12 months to make a decision on the matter.
I had sent, you and I agreed to work for a timeline. And I had sent you a copy of a potential timeline in the process that we should maybe look at. So we are in the process of doing that, and I don't think it's gonna take 12 months myself, but we still have to figure out some of those possible guidelines that we're looking at. So if the public needs to know that we're working on it, we are.
Well, why don't we tonight, why don't we go ahead and approve the moratorium, and then on our next agenda, we'll have the timeline put together, and then we'll make that an item to set the time.
Yep.
About that.
I'd like to ask Laura a question. Laura,
Sure. Yeah.
I can't vote because I have a conflict of interest, but can I ask a question?
Sure.
For clarification? Okay. So when we started the whole moratorium, we were basically told because it's not allowed, this is really not worth the paper it's written on. And now we keep extending this invisible moratorium that can't be enforced. So
I'm not sure that I said it wasn't worth the paper it was written on. I think what we talked about in the discussion we had is that they're not permitted now. So we don't have a formal process for granting those permits, approvals, and licenses. But putting a moratorium says basically, we are not authorizing these. So if you come to us, and as some of it was prompted by the, glamping or however it was characterized sort of thing that maybe fell in that category. If someone were to come to the township and say, I want approval for this, we would have a grounds to say, no, we cannot grant approval for this. We're working on our regulations and our ordinances. So I don't disagree because to the extent you're saying, look, they're already not allowed. So the moratorium is really a moratorium on the township granting any approvals for them. If someone had a short-term rental before the moratorium, in an opinion that I've stated at many public meetings, I don't believe that was permissible. And if they're doing it now, I don't believe it's permissible. The enforcement of that is a different question. What we're saying in the moratorium is we are not going to give anybody permission to do this. until we amend our ordinances.
Which we're not giving permission anyhow, but because you said it's against the ordinances right now, the way they're written. So this just
But if
gives us,
somebody, right, but if somebody had come to the township, like I said, whether it's the glamping example or something else, with, hey, we have this project, we're going to have these short-term rentals, you are in a much stronger position saying, we have a moratorium, rather than saying, well, maybe they're not allowed, we don't have anything on the books. You're just, you have a much more defensible position and clearer communication to your public on where you are at.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, Gary,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Cara?
Yeah.
Mary?
You can't put on.
She can.
She has to go abstain. So she's gonna. That's. Kenzie, yes. Let me see if I get this one right. This one's Vesper, right?
Yep.
Vesper's proposed siding discussion. We need to discuss a possible direction regarding whether to pursue a development of a workable local ordinance or require Vesper to proceed to the state of Michigan for siding process. Well, I did look at this and I did spend some time on it. I appreciate that they are looking for a better plan. But I don't think it answered the questions all the questions that we have with that issue. So I don't think that changed my mind from the September 16th decision. Any other comment before we ask for a move?
Is there any updates in the video from the lawsuit thing?
I think
Nothing,
the lawsuit thing,
yeah.
got them down here somewhere else, don't we?
I don't think there's any,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think anything real, I don't think anything in the lawsuit impacts your discussion right now.
Can I get a motion to either approve a workable renewable energy ordinance, go back to working on that, or not to approve it?
Has there been any other contact with Vesper or Rich or anybody on this, on their new location, and how far they are maybe continuing to work on this? I mean, so I don't know. Jason, did you have any other information that you could share maybe that?
I don't think anything's changed. They're very interested in the new site. I spoke with the property owner there. It's under contract. They're willing to go forward with it as well. I believe the last report I heard, they were engaging in some of the preliminary wetland delineation studies, which I think were in the state of Michigan. You have to wait until at least April 1st because of the seasons. But I think because we had a lot of rain, that got delayed. So I don't know where they are in that process, but I don't think they have changed the degree of their interest in the new location. If that's what you're asking.
Well, I think we talked about this last meeting too as well, and it was my understanding that with a workable ordinance, we can we can make our setbacks, we can ask for a lot more advantages for the township than just having them go through the state. I mean, in a nutshell, isn't that what a workable ordinance is supposed to do? Give more authority and workable content, if you want to call it that, for setbacks and lighting and everything else.
I just saw Laura click on. Are you wanting to say something, Laura?
Oh, yeah. When I hear the word workable, I turn on my camera out of habit, but to Gary's point, workable, right, means it's something that both the township and this particular developer are willing to live with. So more flexible likely than the state standards.
And so the land is under contract, right?
I believe that to be accurate, yes. Unless something's changed.
So it sounds like to me they're coming in anyway. I mean,
That's my belief.
Laura, I know you've talked about this before, but in your opinion, if you have one, is a Creo more beneficial to the township than a workable?
no.
No, well, it depends. How's that for a lawyer answer? With the workable ordinance, again, that's something that's workable for the developer, meaning that they are willing to voluntarily comply with it, even though it's not a Creo, rather than go to the state. And so they will skip the state citing, they will get local approval instead if they decide to follow what that workable ordinance says. And that's why in communities that are doing a workable ordinance, they will take input from the developer, because that's the point, is that it's workable for that developer and ideally workable for the township too, or else you wouldn't adopt it. But my caveat with that is, workable for one developer is not necessarily workable for the next developer. So simply because, if Vesper were to reach an agreement with the township on an ordinance that works for them, works for the township, and that gets adopted, that doesn't mean that the next developer would have to follow it. They could still go to the state if it's not a Creo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Laura, in some of the research on the appellate ruling, I was kind of told that the ruling, in their opinion, and this is from another attorney, at no expense to the township, by the way.
Thank you.
The ruling, in their opinion, kind of weakened the standards of the Creo, because an overlay district is not allowed anymore, maximum acreage is not allowed, and now there's only 5 main points, 5 standards that have to be met in order to go through the state with a Creo. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
in your opinion?
I think that's a fair summary of that part of the court's opinion, the Creo part.
Okay.
Which means,
Well, I think the issue at hand, like I mentioned last month at the meeting, is Vesper's identified a second site that is in many ways far better than the first site they were looking at. And they came to us and said, would you like to resume conversations about a workable, or should we go straight to the state? And that's the decision that we need to make. Same as we had in September. It was at a different site, but they're giving us the opportunity, if we want, to pick up a workable again. Or if we don't, then they'll just proceed with state permitting. So that's the decision at hand. I guess in that regard, I'll make the motion that we resume work on a workable ordinance regarding the proposed best facility in our township.
well, it sounds like to me it's in the township's best interest to have a workable ordinance, because we can then stipulate maybe more stringent regulations than what the state's mandatory are. Is that right, Laura? Is that,
If Vesper agrees to those stricter provisions.
right.
Yeah.
Therefore,
But yes, if Vesper proposed something that is more, we'll just say more favorable to the township, perhaps it's larger setbacks or higher noise, lower noise threshold, said that backward. And if Vesper then voluntarily agreed to comply with that, then the township would have the benefit of more favorable standards than what the state would require them to follow.
And this is, why I believe personally it represents an opportunity is because the site that they're now interested in would allow us to write and them to agree with some of those higher standards. I think I used the example last meeting that the closest residence is 2,000 feet away.
right.
So we could write into that workable ordinance, closest residence can be no less than 1,500 feet. And what is it, Laura, with the state? 300, I think.
Correct.
So that's just an example. So I just think it represents an opportunity for us to write an even better ordinance than we thought we could last time, but.
What are we gonna do when they come in and want to put solar panels in to support their batteries and use the substation to? put their power?
I didn't hear.
We have a motion on, is there a second?
Yep, is there a second?
Before we discuss?
I'll second it.
Now we're open for discussion.
Ken, to your
You
question
defer.
of, I was gonna say, there's nothing that would, and to be clear, I have no stake in whether you do or do not do a workable ordinance. That's up to you. I'm just trying to answer the questions. You could address perhaps the solar part in the ordinance that you work on with Vesper. So if there's a concern you have about what might happen or what they might do, then that's something we should be open and straightforward with during the development of a draft workable ordinance, if that's the way the board goes.
Sure, so we could stipulate that there's no solar panels or there's a certain amount of solar panels, or how many I guess, for lack of a better term, spots that they can have these in. Is that,
Right.
am I going down the right road here, Laura?
Yes. Yep.
How about another company coming in and leasing the land and then putting in the thing through the state?
Well, if you start getting into another parcel and another type of energy facility, then this isn't going to be the ordinance that applies to them anyway, because this is specific to battery energy storage. So if you're talking about a solar facility coming in, the first question is how big, right? Because PA 233 is only implicated with these larger scale, and I want to, I'm blanking on the megawatts right now, and I want to say 50 megawatts for solar. So if it's smaller than that, it's not going to be subject to PA 233 anyway. It's going to be subject to your local zoning. If it's a utility scale solar, yeah, solar is 50 megawatts, wind is 100 megawatts. Then you're going to be in the same position of saying, do we want to do a workable ordinance for that? Or where, that's a whole other conversation.
In the workable ordinance, would we maybe have a position where we could say we only are gonna allow in this district that they're looking at, that's the only place in our township that a developer could come in, and if it's already there, we can say there's only one or two or whatever it is?
So the wrinkle with that is under the most recent Court of Appeals decision, which we do not know if that will be the final end of the day decision after, all options are looked at. But if that were the final say, what the Court of Appeals has said is you don't have a CREO if you're limiting it to a certain zoning district or certain overlay area. So then if another battery storage facility came in, they might say, well, that's nice that you have this workable ordinance that Vesper has chosen to comply with in this area. We're going to go to the state and get cited to be over wherever we want to be.
My comment would be, we gauge everything against our master plan. We want to be a rural community. We don't want Airbnbs because they're too commercial. We don't want this, we don't want that. But yet we are willing for money to put in, what I consider a very dangerous, and not real rural. I don't think it goes with our master plan at all. And I believe that the people in this community spoke and did not want it. So I believe we represent the people in Columbia Township. And if we're gonna follow the master plan, then we need to follow the master plan, and that's my.
I don't think we have an infrastructure to be able to handle that. I don't think we can do emergency response, just looking at what happens out there that takes off on us. I don't know if we can handle the EPA issues that might come about.
We're offered $1 million that could or could not happen if I'm correct. It's gonna cost more than that just for emergency services if something happens, or if we have to evacuate people. In my opinion.
It's not
So
accurate.
it's not accurate. So what's the accurate response then? I mean, so it's not gonna they're gonna provide any fire suppression or anything that we need?
Well, if you remember from the presentation, I mean, if this is fruitful conversation, I'm willing to have it, but I suspect that.
You don't have to have it for me unless you just wanna correct me, and I'm okay with that.
Well, if you remember from the presentation, when we had the state fire marshal in, the correct way to handle a potential fire is to not do anything. Like, they don't even want us to go on site. So there isn't, I mean, there wouldn't be any additional cost to fighting a fire for us because we're not allowed to go on site. I mean, the way to handle a potential fire, whatever the risk is to just let it burn out. I mean, that was clearly stated at.
So that we'd have toxic fumes for our residents.
Well, yes.
I don't wanna get into the weeds either, Jason.
I don't-
You know where I feel about it, so you're not gonna convince me, I'm not gonna convince you.
Well, I'm not trying to
Just wanted-
convince anybody of anything. I just, what I wanna make one, I wanna try one last time to be clear on what I'm trying to do. Nobody wants toxic fumes. Nobody wants a fire. But currently, we don't have any choice of whether these come into our township. I mean, that is the fact. And I'm just simply stating that we have an opportunity, in my opinion, and I know there's varying opinions up here, to improve our situation in a situation where we don't have any choice. So we can argue about train derailments and all this kind of stuff, and we can say however many residents don't want it, I can say I don't want it, but currently we have no choice. So that's the reality, and
We do have a choice.
how do we have a choice?
Let them go to the state of Michigan and let them come in and put it
Okay,
where they want it and let them have whatever boundaries they have.
okay,
I mean,
if that is a choice.
Peter, you're gonna have the.
So we have a
300.
motion on the table,
Yep, we have a second,
and we have a second.
so I think we've got enough information to vote.
Let's see, it's Jason?
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Mary?
No,
Johnson, no? Tara?
no.
What was the final vote on that?
3-2.
3-2.
It
No,
Passed?
No.
No.
Failed. Okay, thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
I just couldn't hear. I missed a vote, sorry.
Um,
Or this is not my time. One of those deals.
he wants to ask a question. Is it about this?
Yes.
It's a moot point. You can
Well,
ask the
so-
question, but it's a moot point.
Yeah, unfortunately, the vote already took place. What percentage? Do we know a percentage of these not making it past the state? The workable was with the Eagle and the Creole was not, correct? One of those deals, like how often are they succeeding when they go to the state? We have
I'm
any
not,
idea?
I can jump in there because we're involved in several of the solar applications and they just haven't got to a decision yet. It's a pretty slow process.
Okay. Thank you, Laura.
Moving to the next one, Laura, PA 233 Supreme Court Appeal Decisions.
Well, I didn't even see that that was on the agenda, but happy to give an update. It was a mixed result in that there were some parts of the appeal that went in our favor, but not any that are really relevant to Columbia Township. So as Jason noted, the Court of Appeals on the CREO issue sided with the Public Service Commission's interpretation that you can, it's such a, I have a hard time explaining it with a straight face, forgive me. That for it to be a compatible renewable energy ordinance, it can literally only have the specific items listed in the statute, such as setback, noise, lighting, and things like that. My commentary is that would mean that technically a CREO can't require an application or an application fee or anything, because that's not in the statute, but I'll save my commentary perhaps for a higher court. I don't think I can give a public update probably beyond that right now.
You want to appeal this to the Michigan Supreme Court. And you need additional funds from the township?
So I think we've only had those conversations on a privileged basis, so I'm not sure we've specifically sent out a public communication on that. So I guess I don't want to speak specifically to that, to what our plans are, but if you received the communications from Mike Homier, you can share those with the board.
Well, we still have money in the budget for this lawsuit. Wouldn't that cover any court?
I don't know how much it's gonna cost. It shouldn't cost much to go to the Supreme Court, does it? Will
Well,
the 80
she
of
doesn't
us-
want to say where they're gonna go, but any place, we still have money in the budget under this line item.
Yeah, we have
So we
money in
don't,
the budget.
According to this, there's still a pretty close to $8,000 balance that's
Yeah.
available.
so I don't.
I'm not asking you to authorize anything beyond that right now. I can say that.
Yeah, okay.
I thought Homier said if we were gonna drop out, we would have to let you know by Tuesday. Oh, we can't talk about that?
I mean, if you want, I didn't know you wanted to talk about that, or I probably would have proposed a closed session, but I suppose since you've just said it, you can talk about it.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm okay going to the Supreme Court.
Well, I don't think, she doesn't really want to talk about that. I think we don't have to vote on anything because we have money in the budget to
Right.
fight this lawsuit.
We're not gonna talk about
We didn't say at what level.
Right.
it. Okay, new business. Township Hall concrete improvements. I gave you a little sketch. The gazebo to the parking lot to get a walkway so people can walk down there without walking on the grass. Kara needs a holder on the ground for her voter
Ballot drop.
box. And that came to 3 yards, and if you only get 3 yards, you're gonna pay for it as if you got 5 yards, which they don't pay you. You don't have to add anymore, so I decided that I would go down at the end and put a pad down there for anyone to use for whatever they want, because I was gonna have extra concrete and no sense of just ordering 3 yards. I might as well go ahead and order the extra to do that. And that's why we have that pad there. It's not for anyone. It's just an area that if somebody wants to use it, it's available.
Why not take that extra 12 by 12 and put it next to the this door walk going in so that when they have the commodities here, they have a
Yeah,
way to get into the,
that's what we talked about. You were gonna connect the pad to
I
the
was
side.
gonna connect the path there, but then they said that they wanted to come in, well, they could come in the double doors anytime they want, because we give them the key to the back door, they can go open up the double doors and bring all their stuff in through that. With a 2-man cart, I mean,
Is there anything in a cemetery that could use the extra concrete?
not that I know. I don't care where I put the concrete, I just think that it's
Well,
a
could we,
waste of money to pay for truck delivery if I could use the.
could we
concrete
approve
somewhere.
it and then have a conversation with the people that do commodities and find out if it would be helpful to put it in a certain spot?
Yeah, I mean, I can put your path in there and we'll give you a slope up there, but the problem is you're gonna have your concrete going like this, and then there's gonna be a lid down, and I can slope it. If I slope it, then somebody probably walking that's old is probably gonna lose their balance and fall, and I wouldn't want that.
but Okay, there's a lot of what ifs to everything.
It was, getting off,
Yeah, you
getting
could,
that ramp up there, I'd have to come out and go like
you
this.
could even put a pad for our dumpster out of the transfer station to be put on.
What size is it?
I don't know.
I'd have to take the truck out there by the
We-
time I get out there. in the
We
concrete.
can have the discussion
Yeah.
later. I think what Mary alluded to is, something that we should consider and just, do a little bit more research on it, see
I
where.
don't have a problem. When do you have to have this done?
July,
I don't wanna wait till last minute.
end of June. I'd like it done in June.
Early voting start, or, you know, she's
Yeah.
gotta be able to put them in the. So can we approve a dollar amount and then do research to where you
Right,
guys
it's
think?
not gonna cost township anything.
No materials either,
What's
no
that?
materials or labor.
No,
Okay, good.
Well, thank you, Ken.
I already have my volunteers. Well, they don't know
Good.
yet.
I need to make sure I understand what's going on here. We need a sidewalk to the pavilion and we need a pad for the election drop box. That's what we're trying to solve for.
Need electrical, pad for the thing. We don't need anything coming off the sidewalk to get to it.
We need a pad for the drop box, and he's saying for the cost of the concrete, we can do additional
Work.
projects, because they're gonna charge
I-
3
Yeah,
yards.
you need we're putting a 5 foot all the way from the parking lot to the gazebo. That's on the far left side of your sketch
She'll make
there.
it handicap accessible.
And then you're gonna do the election ballot box.
But the need is the election ballot box pad, correct?
That's the only thing that's.
Okay, you don't need 3 yards of concrete for that, I'm pretty
No,
sure.
you don't. But,
There's a
last
bit-
year I said I was gonna do the other one and I didn't get around to it. I'm gonna get around to it. And I got a reason to get around to it because I'm gonna put another pad in.
Does this include getting rid of the one that's currently blocking the sidewalk?
Yeah.
It does,
And
You're
you're,
gonna step up to get onto them, like.
but you could ramp it right there.
You could
I mean,
ramp,
you
I-
could
I'd
use
have to
that
cut the
extra
concrete up.
concrete
yeah.
for a ramp.
I cut that concrete up.
and the reason it doesn't cost us anything is because Ken, you're gonna pay for the concrete?
And I got volunteers. I don't need much of volunteers, but I need some.
Can I ask Kate a question? When you had the ADA people here for the, would that be helpful to have, so they could get there on a wheelchair?
Mentioned it like that, they actually really liked our parking lot, really liked the size of our parking spaces. Their real comments were simply that our signs weren't high enough, because they could be buried by snow, so they suggested that we raise same type of metal stick that it's on and just raise them up so that they don't get covered by snow. And maybe, these 2 spaces by the front door each side, if you have a van driving up, passengers indicate the passengers get off on this side, and I'm not going to.
Van accessible.
Think,
Okay, but they didn't say anything about getting
No,
through
they
the dirt
didn't.
there?
They
Okay.
did.
But it would be helpful if Ken's gonna do it anyhow. Thank you.
So you want a dollar amount? Oh,
Nope,
no,
it's
no,
nothing.
no.
He's just giving us information.
I just want everyone to know I'm doing it and, that you guys approve that I do it, because I don't want you to come back and say I shouldn't have done it.
Like a ballroom.
Yeah.
Laura, I wanna ask a weird question. Is this typical?
Wait, typical or legal?
Both. I'd like to know both, but.
For
It
a
just- it
township
feels
board
weird
member
to me that we're not just saying, hey, we have money in our budget, we vote to put a election pad in. I mean, when we start just letting people do whatever they want because they have the money for it, like if I wanna come in and just plant a bunch of trees out in our back, cause I'll pay for it, I mean, I just feel, that feels strange to me.
My
So
only concern would be maybe a liability issue for some reason, I don't know.
On the donation part, anyone can donate money or property to the township at any time, and and they can designate. So if I wanted to give you $100 to plant a tree, I say, here's $100 for you to plant a tree, and you have to honor that restriction. So I don't have a legal problem with doing that. I think the township needs to approve whatever is, being done with it, right? I'm trying to think of an outrageous example, but you know, if if a township board member wants to start planting palm trees, in the front of the township hall, you don't have to let them do that. They can offer to donate palm trees and you can politely decline. But if you want the donation, you can approve that.
Okay. So we probably just need a motion to approve the donation of concrete from one of our residents and installation.
Correct. Yep.
Are you making that motion or you want me to?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Gar made a motion. What was the motion?
Motion to approve donation from Kenneth Spicer to complete concrete work.
Ken, don't take this the wrong way, but are you good at concrete?
Mario, am I good at concrete?
I mean, if we did this with anything, I think we'd want the standards to be what we would expect a paid contractor to do, correct?
Let's see, when I was 17 years.
I don't need a resume. I just wanna know. You said yes?
He's got it, fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Got a motion by Kara, second by Mary. This isn't money, so I think it's all ayes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's carried. Our assessor gave us a land division, lot line adjustment. And I believe this was from a previous application and this is a correction that's being made.
Yeah.
I read through it. We have a very good assessor. And she said that we're following all the rules, so I'll make a motion that we accept the land division lot line adjustment.
Yep, I'll second it. I've talked to her too.
We got a motion and a second discussion.
Mary, is it along the lines of the new, kind of our new standards for land division that
No,
we
it's
just
not
recently
like
passed?
that. It's just literally they just are moving a lot line.
Okay.
It's not the one that we
It's
just
not.
approved.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Thank you.
All in favor?
Yeah, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone say nay? Everyone said aye. Passed. Truth and taxation, I prepared a truth and taxation with no increase in the millage rate. And I also gave you a table in there that would show what the taxes would go up if you did use the truth and taxation. But we have over the years not going in that direction to use truth and taxation. So
I'll make a motion that we use the L 4 without the truth and taxation, without the increase.
you don't wanna talk about well, that's a motion. Okay.
Mary made a motion. We got a second?
Second.
Or seconded discussion?
I know we did this in the past, and I know we discussed moving back to the Headley, getting back to where we should be. And there's not gonna be that much of a difference as far as cost wise, I don't think, for the taxpayers. And if you do it without the truth and taxation, it's gonna keep going down, 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 down.
In 4 years, we gotta have elections.
I agree with you, Gary, but I feel like personally, I've made a commitment not to raise taxes on our citizens, and we were able to invest money and make money that I think would cover this, so that we shouldn't have to, that's just my opinion.
Okay,
To raise the taxes, so
well, that's a good thought.
Isn't it usually only like
six.
$6,000 or something like that?
It's not a bunch. Well, we've got it on here.
Operating is about 5, the roads would lose about 20,000. Fire is about 10, I think. It's in the table that's in there.
If I'm
Any other discussion?
Okay, Mary?
Yes,
Sarah, could you read back the motion, please?
here a second.
Motion to approve L 4029 without the increase.
Without,
Tara and I will have to sign that too. Okay, Mary? Yes. Clara?
Yeah.
Yes. Jason?
yes.
Kenzie, yes. Gary?
Yes,
Cemetery cleanup. Stump grinding, tree trimming, and general cleanup, electrical wire broken to shed.
We have some bids on the cemetery cleanup. We've had. I can't even count how many complaints about the cemeteries. They're in really bad shape, especially Breedsville. Someone even was nice enough to post a video on Facebook about how bad they were. So they're actually at a point where they're dangerous. There's a huge tree leaning. And Dixie had a picture of that. She has been gracious enough to go out. Actually, her and Ken cleaned up a tree right before a funeral because we had trees down and they couldn't even get in with the funeral. So I appreciate that. But we've neglected our cemeteries for a long time. And we feel like we should have like a 3-step thing, you know, like at least get the stumps out of there, get it cleaned up and really make it as safe as we can. And then maybe the next step would be to remove some other dangerous trees. And if anyone's been out there, it's in rough shape. Mario?
I just wanna say, like, if you're looking for someone, for stump grinding, that man over there,
Well, we have bids, so we have bids. So this is a official thing here. Yeah, and when we pay our sexton, we only pay them to mow. We don't pay them to clean up all these things. So that's part of the reason that's not done. And Dixie, do you mind talking about it then?
Yes. I went out and, with 4 contractors, I had a bid list, which is like the finishing we have it. And they, contractors bid based on that list. When I thought there was another contractor last night, we saw a leaning tree, which we all saw the pictures today. I got in contact with the contractors this morning. 2 of them bid on the tree, as you see the second item on the list. So I only have 2 bids for, the large tree. I have 4 bids for, like grinding 20 stumps, hauling off the tree, so on and so forth. I had topsoil in my bid list. Bidder 1, 2, and 3 did not include topsoil. Though bidder number 1 stated that he believed that the mound of dirt around a lot of these stumps could be dispersed around to other locations in the cemetery to fill in the holes. Because what the goal is to fill in all of, they're going to grind up, remove all of the chips, so we'll have divots. And so fill in the holes and then put grass in on top so that the mowing company can actually mow it without, falling into all those spots and that. If you have any questions, Stump Grinding is here tonight, and so you can ask questions if you need.
well, my only comment on this, Dixie, is that you did one heck of a job and you've got this really, really categorized nicely. So thank you very much. And all the bids are based on this list that.
Right, and as you can see, I have the bidder number at the bottom of the page and I'd like to go to like probably 4 pages back or so. There's bidder number and what their pages, and any type of communication I had with them, like let's say they said cleanup. I would get in touch with them. I said, what is your definition of cleanup? Does it mean haul away? Does it mean to remove all the debris? So I clarified a lot of the terminology to make sure that we were all on the same page.
I agree with Gary. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you retired from your real job to do this for $40 a month. It's a benefit to the township. And we appreciate it.
Hey Dixie, in the DR stump grinding, they have like 5,000 on their first page, and then they got another 5,000 on the other.
And I only see that you have 10,000 over here on the bid. Am I missing something?
See, what happened then is the first line here, that is where I went out and got the original bids. I had everything put together. And then last night we saw the tree that was leaning. I asked them this today if they would bid on the leaning tree. So if you look at the second item down, one company is charging 5,000 for the leaning tree. Another company is charging $3,600 for the leaning tree. So therefore, in total, if you look at the bottom, it shows what their bids are. Now, 1 and 2 are comparable. Number 3 did not bid on the leaning tree, and number 4 is on the ball.
So she got the one bid from him and then she added the tree. That's why there's 2 pages.
So we had actually two different bids here. One's for the top part, one's for the bottom part.
Well, then she combined them, so we only need to bid, we only need to.
Well, it's
vote on one.
15,000 for the number 1 bid if he does everything.
No.
No?
Look,
She's got on here total per bidders
Right here,
for number 1.
number 1.
That's right.
because he gave that before she added the tree. That's with the tree.
Oh.
So, yeah,
So this is. This I
That's just,
couldn't look
yeah,
at.
but she wanted to include all documentation.
Yeah, okay.
this front one tells you exactly what the cost is.
So we just need to look at this.
It just confuses me.
I know,
Doesn't
total
take
per
much.
bid.
Is there just 8,000 in the budget where that could cover this?
That's what I was looking at, yeah. We have a repair and maintenance line item in the budget for cemeteries of 8,000, so we'd have to do a budget
We'll do a
amendment.
budget amendment. Yeah.
Okay.
It's at the point where it's a liability.
Yep,
Mary, you wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept bid number 1 at the price of $10,000.
second.
Jason, second. Any further discussion?
But when I add the Dr. Stump writing, the number of new, but that's just me. Better 1 is, that's what it is, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, roll call vote. Mary,
Yes,
second that. Jason,
Jason said.
Yes,
Kara,
Yes.
Denza, yes. Mary,
Yes,
dishing on 24th.
Gary, yes.
Gary, yes. Sorry, Gary. Dishing on 24th Avenue to Scott Lake Road. This wasn't in the budget for this year. And they asked us to pay 100% of the ditching. We normally split that, so. I think we probably ought to move that till next year's budget.
So this, this, road commission maintenance project sheet shows us that we are paying half of it, but it's not in the budget. Is that what you're saying?
Showing that we're paying 100% of it.
According to this, it says road commission funds is half of the 11/4.
Then I gave you the wrong sheet.
yeah, we've already paid for a couple of those. 50%. Now they want another one and they want us to pay 100%.
That one, does it say the 24th on that one?
This one says 24th.
This says 24th Avenue.
That's a cross pipe replacement, that's not the ditch. I gave you the wrong.
So this is wrong?
That's wrong. The other one's about $18,000, and it's, road commission's not,
Okay.
splitting it. I did send a letter to the county and told them that, you know, I thought we ought to be 50-50.
do we know why they're wanting us to pay all of it?
I haven't got a response back on why. I will be meeting with them, here, talking road work.
I'd like to make a motion that we do not do it. And we look at it, we just got it $40,000 for a turnaround.
Yeah. Mary's made a motion to get a second.
Second.
The money thing, I guess we gotta vote. Mary,
Yes,
Gary,
Yes.
Kenzie, yes, Carl,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
summer newsletter insert.
Okay. Karen was gracious enough, I asked her to do this and she was nice enough to help, to do it. Since we're gonna send out summer tax bills, I have to send them out by get everything to the printer by the 15th. So this is just kind of a rough draft to make sure we can let people know where to go. If there's something you don't want on there or want on there, you can let us know, but we're trying to keep it, cost effective. The last mailing that so what we save on is the post. It just goes in the same mailing as your tax bill. So it's still gonna cost about, not to exceed $500. So it is a money thing.
So this is a separate sheet just like this? It's not on the back of the tax thing?
No, we don't have
Okay.
enough room on the back.
Okay, okay,
So we'll just do a separate sheet.
okay.
If we do a separate sheet in a different color, people might read it,
Hmm,
right?
could be. Well, I think that's a pretty color.
It is a very pretty color. So I just need a motion, not to exceed $500 for the newsletter to go out in the summer. And I really appreciate Karen doing this because we talk about a newsletter forever and nobody ever got around to it. So we are very fortunate to have so many people, so many volunteers that really help this board.
And we can still tweak this up until the 15th or whenever we need to print it, you said?
I'll give you till the first.
Well, for example, I feel like we would be neglecting an opportunity to mention the moratorium on short-term rentals. It's not mentioned in there.
Well, we also don't know if we're gonna do an open house on short-term rentals.
Okay,
Yeah, we could fill in both of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I assume that because there was blanks in there still. We're still kind of tweaking the copy.
We
Okay.
just needed to get it approved so that we could work on it.
Sure.
Because it has to be out before the next meeting.
I'll make the motion not to exceed 500 for the newsletter insert.
Mary made that motion.
Oh, you did?
Second it?
I'll second it
All
then.
right.
Any other discussion? Okay, Mary,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Kenzie, yes, Cara.
Yeah.
Gary, I didn't forget you.
Yes.
Public comments?
The board please disclose who bidder number one is for the cemeteries.
Oh, is it?
Tyler.
Did I miss it?
DR stump
We are
grinding,
stump grinding.
reintroduction.
Did you know you were number one?
No.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Did I miss it?
No,
And
I put it in the motion.
anything before Memorial Day would be helpful. It's only this weekend, right?
Like 12 hours.
I'm just saying, if
Better
you're,
go get to
if you're
work right
bored.
now.
You just have to sleep fast, that's all.
But thank you so much. Any other public comment?
I'm Lauren Porter, I'm on 52nd Street, takes me 2.5. And this is just, I know it's a new point now because it's been voted down for Vesper, but I just kind of wanted to voice, I'm strongly opposed to it because it's in our backyard. But being opposed to it doesn't negate the fact that it's probably coming. And I just want to share some statistics with you. We cannot want it all we want. In 2023, Michigan added to push to put these in place around the state. In 2025, 3 were added without the community wanting it. Michigan put them there. In 2026, as of March, 6 have been added without the community wanting it there. None have been denied. 77 are on board for planning already. I just think it's scary to think that we have the opportunity to give them more ordinances to adhere to, and we're not taking action on it. So.
Any other public comment? Karen?
Earlier, I was thinking of mentioning again about possibly hiring an enforcement officer. I was really encouraged by what Jeremy said, so maybe not. But if he's not wanting multiple emails, is that something that somebody needs to tell Ruth? Is she the one like spraying them out once they come in? I think that's,
We'll let Ruth know to give it directly to Gary.
um. I share the view that you just had. I don't like the idea either, and it would even almost feel like dirty money to come in. But it's still spendable for the many things that this community needs, if we're gonna get stuck with it anyway. And so it kind of falls down to, do you really think it's coming or not? And I do. So I understand why people don't want it,
Absolutely.
and respect that. But I just. And I do want to say publicly, I want to, I don't always stick up for Ken, as he knows better than anybody. But it was my fault that he thought he had a conflict of interest, because I said at a meeting that I thought you were renting your property. And you corrected me on that, and I accepted that. And if we were to eliminate everybody who has late property from the board, you would not have a quorum. So I think we have to live with that. You can say people are biased, but that could be on any matter. Actually, you do at least need a quorum. And I stand corrected at the planning commission meeting when it was disclosed that Ken had more than one PRE. I thought that was improper. I did not even know that was allowed. But I checked with our assessor, found out it was, so I apologize. Thank you.
I'm gonna just briefly make a comment here. I am getting old. And I have to think about what I'm gonna do with my properties, and I've been thinking about that for about 5 years. And I was going to take my property and put it in my stepson's name. And I learned that if I did that, the basis goes back and he would have to pay taxes all the way up to the sale price. I can't sell my property. I gotta hold on to it until I die and give it to him by title through a death. And then it's free and clear to him and he gets the full value. So 2 of my cottages are gonna go to people that I'm gonna give it to, and I'm just sitting on them. I don't have to run them. I don't need the money to run them. And they can use them if they want. But my stepson's got a full-time job. He works 7 days a week. And he was out this weekend to clean up the cottage for this weekend, and then you won't see him till the 4th of July and September. So that's how my property is being stayed in my name and not transferred. And it's not being used. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not faulting you for owning property.
Well, I just wanted you to know the background of why I'm not renting and why it's not.
I mean, if
That
you
issue.
invest, I'm not here to even debate whether we should have short-term rentals. I mean, if the whole point of owning property is to be able to enjoy it however you wish, as long as it provides peace to both you and your neighbors. And right now that isn't happening, whether it's blight, whether it's renters, whether it's visitors, whether it's squatters. And this township has a due diligence to make sure that we are supporting our constituents. And sometimes in your commentaries and in the way you conduct yourself, it appears that instead of maybe making decisions for the whole township as a whole, that some members present their opinions as if it were a personal interest. And I was just making sure that you're making decisions on the best thing that's for the township and for the future of the township. And if someone wants to run an accounting business or an excavating business or a tree service or a guest house out of their property, as long as it's not inflicting on the rights of a neighbor, why can't they? And this is a township of poverty. We don't have a lot of money, so why are we turning it away? I just don't understand. And so I just want to make sure that the decisions are made for the township's best interest and not an individual's best interest. I get, you have hard jobs, you are underpaid or not paid at all. And, you know, sometimes you're like, well, there's no one at this meeting, no one's listening, I can make a decision because it's probably in my best interest. And I don't get anything for this job anyway. You know, I was a public servant for 20 years as well. I totally understand. But now it has gotten a lot of traction and a lot of people watching, and there's a lot of people that have concerns. And I'm just making sure that you make the right decisions for the whole township.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Announcements? Board comments? Gary?
We have court action on one of our property owners, and he has until June 6th to have it cleaned up. And the court order stipulates if it's not done, then the township has the authority to either hire it out or go in themselves and clean it up, and whatever the charge is, it gets put as a lien on his property.
Jason?
I do have some comments I'm gonna read, and then I would like to submit them into the public record. Tonight's vote on revisiting the completion of a workable ordinance to address the new proposed BEST project in Columbia Township went as I expected. I understand there are many who have voiced opposition to this and other renewable projects coming into our township. I have also heard many others that are in favor of these projects and the potential benefits they can offer. But I don't even need to state my personal opinion on renewables to say that I think we are making a mistake or have made a mistake by not trying to improve our situation with a workable ordinance rather than burying our head in the sand and pushing projects to be permitted through the state. At no legal expense to the township, I have confirmed with an attorney who is largely considered a subject matter expert on renewable energy regulations, 3 key items that I believe strengthens the case for Columbia Township to pursue a workable ordinance. 1, the appellate ruling on PA 233 did nothing to change the fact that renewable energy projects are still allowed anywhere in our township. In fact, the attorney I consulted believed the lawsuit's attempt to use CREO option to strengthen a township's position has potentially weakened it by now clarifying there are only 5 standards that need to be met. Overlay districts are not allowed, and there are no maximum acreage standards now. In her words, a CREO is now a bare bones standard with bare minimum requirements. Number 2, a workable ordinance does not require a township to do anything more from a management or administrative standpoint than if a project is permitted through the state. And number 3, the Eagle RCC grant fund was in fact replenished at the federal level and has $90 million in funds available. Furthermore, some townships have added developer agreements onto their ordinances that require a developer to assist in obtaining these grants and also paying the grant amount to the township if that grant is not awarded. Passing on a workable ordinance means passing on an additional $1.3 million plus in township funding over and above the tax revenue that will be generated by an eventual project. We had a developer willing to work with us directly and agree to much more favorable terms and conditions than we will be offered from the state. Time will obviously tell if I'm right or wrong, but I believe Columbia Township is getting a BEST project whether we want it or not. We had an opportunity to better our impending situation that we have now let pass by, likely for good.
Tara?
My report's in the packet, nothing too exciting.
That's it?
Yep.
We're gonna adjourn it,
Excuse me?
well, I thought you had enough.
No, I have not had enough.
You
Not had enough.
got more to go?
Yes. First of all,
I got a mother waiting for me.
well, sorry. Thank you everyone for coming. And I mean, I agree with a lot of things you say. The only thing I don't agree with is I know that this board has gone above and beyond to be transparent. We don't have to tape every meeting. I mean, we don't have to do a lot of those things, but we really do try. And we all get phone calls all the time. So that would be the only thing I, would say that. That's not my feeling. I really think everybody, we are so fortunate to have so many community members right here that help us run this, and it's a big job, but everyone's taken on. Kate, Karen, Dixie, everybody, and John, you're doing a great job with the fire department. Thank you. You're really, it's good things coming. So I'd like to say that. Laura, I really hope that we get a new legislature that does kick this all out. I wish that nobody in the township would sell their property to them, because they can't really build something if they don't have property for it. So that's part of our community selling their property. There's places in Kentucky where I have a house that Big Horse Farms offered them $14 million and they're standing firm. They're not selling. So I wish everyone had, but the mighty dollar. Yeah, and I really think if you guys have a problem, let us know, but I think everyone's really trying to work together up here to do what's best for the community. So, thank you. I'm done now, Ken.
Thank you, Mary.
You bet.
We're adjourned at 9:07.